Hey guys, welcome back. It's Monday. I did it again. Episode 12. Here we are. First before we start, I hope everyone had a good week before you're tuning in. I had a good week. I had a tired week, but I'm happy to be back. I was feeling like a little bit like I should just wait. But I'm like, no, I need to be consistent. I can't let my life take me down and get me off track. Even though this episode was supposed to come out this morning, but I still made it happen. And it's just gonna come out tonight, Monday night instead of Monday morning, but I got it done. So that's all that counts. And sometimes, it's about just getting it done. Maybe you're not on time. Maybe you didn't hit the mark, but it's about being on time. Now, we're not being on time, but about getting it done. And not always about being on time, depending on what it is. Okay, so let me stop that because I'm not even supposed to be talking about that. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about split ends today. Cut them or keep them. But before we go into that, I got to give my quote and my shout out. So today, my quote is going to be from the person I'm giving my shout out about. The quote is, which I feel like is so fitting in just in general, but kind of it has something to do with my topic today. And the quote is, when you change your hair, you change your life. And that is by Kaya Wright. Now, I want to get in a little into this quote a little bit. I want to say, instead of like changing your hair style wise, I want to change your hair health wise. Okay. And once you change your hair health wise, like getting rid of those dead ends, then you can also change your life because you'll be so proud of how nice and healthy your hair looks. Okay? Now, Kaya Wright, let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a two-time Emmy Award winner. She also won the Hollywood Beauty Award. She's a celebrity stylist and author, and she is launching her own product line. Um, she does everybody's hair, Nicole Ari Parker, Laverne Cox. She's responsible for Sierra's amazing hair on her tour she was just on. She's she's probably one of the people that I think does blonde hair on black women really, 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 really well. Um, a lot of them are wigs and extensions, but she gets the tones right. Like it's flawless. She adds texture. She doesn't just make it look like a wig. It looks really natural and she's killing it. She also sells wigs. By the way, a lot of you guys ask me where to get wigs from. If you go to her site, kayawright.com, you can buy a wig from her, and I believe it can be custom colored, cut, whatever you want. And she also has tutorials on her Instagram to teach you how to properly apply it without showing any detections of a wig. And I think you guys could get some good tips and tricks from her. So her Instagram, I think it's just Kaya Wright at Kaya Wright on Instagram. And don't forget KayaWright.com. She has blogs, she has photo galleries. Maybe you want to get some inspiration to bring to me or your stylist if you need to. But that's where you need to go. Okay. Also, she is responsible for the class that I took a whole long time ago. Not that long ago, but kind of a long time ago, where I learned how to do my amazing weaves, my sewing. I learned my technique from her. Then I kind of like evolved it into my own thing, but she's responsible for changing my mindset on how I even braided my foundations and laid my nets and all that stuff. So shout out to her because she helped me make some more money and she helped you guys look better. So definitely want to give her her praises. She is one of the goats of the hair industry. She's definitely a trendsetter and she's just super dope and somebody to aspire to be like if you're upcoming in the hair industry. So definitely check her out. All right. Now let's get into our topic. Split ends. Cut them or keep them. First, I want to talk about what is a healthy strand of hair. Let's imagine a piece of yarn, a long strand of yarn, right? You take it out of the bundle and you cut a string. From the top to bottom, you don't have any split fibers coming out. Everything is like all uniform, woven into its strand. There's nothing coming up from the bottom and nothing coming out from, like, let's say, quote unquote, the root. And it's just like sharp, blunt on each side. Okay. Imagine that piece of yarn is your hair. Okay. You know what it's like when you get a fresh trim or haircut and you don't have anything out of place and everything's just bouncing and moving and amazing. That is what I want you to compare your hair to or imagine in the back of your mind while I'm talking about these split ends. Okay. What are split ends? Split ends are, let's go back to our strand. If you had that piece of yarn and the bottom of it started unraveling and coming out and kind of looking like a dusty broom or like a bent up broom or just like, I don't know, something coming apart, you notice you get, or the, how do I say? If you have a strand or fiber or piece of fabric from your clothes coming apart, you can start seeing through it when the strand becomes unraveled. Same things happen with split ends. You can start seeing through the hair. It looks transparent. It looks kind of dry. It doesn't look a part of the whole piece. It looks like it shouldn't be there. It looks like cut that off. Okay? That is a split end. A split end is when your hair is splitting from the bottom, rising from the top. And unfortunately, this topic is so controversial because we have so much hair trauma and we don't want to cut it off because, oh God, we just have to have long hair. It just started growing and I just can't possibly cut off these dead, ugly ends that are ruining my hairstyle and ruining the curls from staying in my head and ruining my hair from staying moisturized and also costing me a whole bunch of time trying to detangle because you refuse to cut your ends. I just would like to say to everyone that think keeping split ends for no reason is a good idea that you're delusional. It never helps. It never does a thing unless you have a plan, which I will talk about later. Um, but just think of your hair like a plant or that piece of string hanging off your shirt. Cut it off. The more time it stays split on your head, the worse your hair is going to get, the more damage you're going to cause or promote and the further you're taking yourself away from your hair goals. Okay? If you want long hair, cut the ends. If the ends keep splitting faster than your hair is growing, you're gonna never get any length, or your hair is gonna be ugly and dry, or thin and ugly. It's just not gonna be good, okay? I'm here to tell you guys the truth because nobody wants to tell you the truth. But we're not here to be coddled. I'm coming from a place of love, and I am loving on you guys by telling you the hair truth, okay? So let's talk about all the different ways you can get split ends. Some of this is going to be like, duh, and then some of this is going to be like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Because split ends are like a little hair demon, and they come from all types of different places. You never thought you would get a split end. But if you just listen, you'll be like, oh, maybe I should start thinking about that. And I'll tell you little stories along the way if I have any relevant to these topics or these reasons, I should say, of why you could be getting split ends. Okay, so how do you get split ends? I have a little bit of a list. I'm going to go through each reason. And there's, of course, probably like 100 more reasons, but these are the ones that came to the top of my head that I want to go through. So, first one, clips. You know the clips gymnasts use, the ones that open and you slide them to hold back little flyaways and then you clamp them. And they're like pointy and they look like a little mouth and then you clamp them. Those are a hair killer. Let me tell you why. If you have a press or a silk press, or your roots are sweated out, or you have color, hair is not detangled, and your hair is super thick, and you have, let's say, two different textures going on. You have sweated out roots, but your ends or the mid shaft to your ends are still straight. And you slide that clip up at your root and you clamp it, and then when you leave, you pull it back out. That clip can act like scissors. And if not cut your hair, it can create cracks and fragility in your cuticle. So when you go to comb it, it's just snapping off, flying on the ground. It's just like, bye, girl, you put that clip in my head. You obviously don't want me to be on your head. So I'm just going to fall on the floor now. Also, claw clips. Claw clips are fine, kind of. But you need to be careful how you put them in, how you take them out. Don't slide them out of your hair. Open them all the way, clamp them, open them all the way to take them out. Don't just drag it out of your hair because it's going to drag your hair with it when you take it out. Also, don't buy cheap clips that have the plastic seam on them because it also can create cracks in your hair and drag it out when you take the clip out too. So don't do that. Ponytail holders, scrunchies, whatever. Okay. Scrunchies or ponytail holders that have the metal little thing that connects it to hold it together, throw those in the trash. You don't want those. The metal gets tied around your hair and it can pull your hair out too. Cotton ones, sometimes, but sometimes they're okay. But remember, they dry your hair out and and cotton on hair can be abrasive and it can also damage your hair if it's not, even if it is strong over time, over and over and over again, it can create some breakage right around the perimeter of your hair. So be mindful of that. Also, the ponytail holders that have the connection from that glue can be really like kind of like hard and sharp. And as you are tying your hair together, or not together, but like, when you put the ponytail thing on and you have to like twist it and do it again and twist it and do it again, that can also kind of act like quote unquote scissors or something sharp that could be creating some type of fragility in your strand as well. So think about it over and over again, up, down, high, low, side to side, whatever could be causing hair breakage. Rubber bands, ugh, I hate them, but sometimes we have to use them. So also, even though I'm giving you guys this list, sometimes we gotta use this stuff, but just know that you're gonna sacrifice some strands, okay? Now, your responsibility is the frequency of using them, how you use them, and what type of quality are you getting. They do have rubber bands that are better to use than the cheap little rubber ones. And I'm talking for everyday use. If you're trying to do like a specific style or whatever, then whatever. But if this is like every day, you're like, oh, I didn't have anything. I just need this rubber band. Then, be prepared to lose a couple strands. We all seen our hair come out on ponytail holders. I'm not saying don't use them, but I'm saying there are consequences. Okay. Now, they do have satin ones, which are better. They also don't hold as well. So don't think you're going to get a super tight ponytail by using a satin scrunchie. Um, so just be mindful. You're going to get a different type of hold. Like it'll pull your hair back, but it's really not the thing to kind of like style and sculpt a ponytail with. So you guys just have to know, like, think about like, are you doing your hair for a style or are you doing your hair just to get it out of your face? If it's usually like just to get it out of your face, then you want to go with like the satin or the silk one because you're not really going anywhere and you just want to pull your hair out without damaging it. If you are trying to go for a look and you want like a sleek ponytail or a braid or whatever like that, then I am like, okay, fine. Do like a tighter type of ponytail method. It's fine. But it's not for every day. If you're trying to preserve your hair and keep it from splitting, okay? Um, Bobby pins. Oh, you guys kill me with the bobby pins. I start seeing all these weird split ends and stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? They're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I just wrap my hair and then, I just wake up and I just go to work. And I'm like, okay, well, how do you wrap your hair? Meanwhile, I'm looking at this bobby pin you just like swiped out of your hair when you sat in my chair, but I'm still gonna go through my CSI investigation and see what happened. So it's like, no, I don't know. I just wrap my hair. I'm like, well, how do you wrap your hair? I'm like, how do you hold it when you wrap it? I have bobby pins. And I'm like, yeah, bobby pins. And not all bobby pins are evil. Some bobby pins are necessary. But the kind that like crinkle, you know what I mean. Not the long, straight, smooth ones. Those can be bad too if the little ball comes off the end. But I'm talking about the crinkly kind. Those aren't great to wrap your hair with because most people are too lazy to take them out properly. Also, too, it can create little cracks within your hair, and then you have like all these little short pieces. But you guys can usually hear those things snag whenever you take them out. Or if you just want to like put up your hair with the fly or for the flyaways or around the edges or whatever. I wouldn't really mind bobby pins if one, you didn't sleep in them, or two, you took them out properly. But most of you guys just drag them out of your hair and then be like, why is all this 2 inches around my face? And I'm like, the bobby pin. I know you see it on the floor. I know you do. I know you do. Okay, other thing is really cheap hot tools. Good hot tools can do it too, but that's more of like a heat damage type of thing. But I'm talking about, the flat irons you got from like 2001 and all the coating came off the plate. And every time you flat iron, you hear like, throw that in the trash, please. It is breaking your hair off. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but please throw it in the trash. Also, all of the dried up, sorry, the dog. Also, the dried up, caked up product like hairspray, grease, oil, all that's caked up on those flat irons or curling irons are breaking your hair off. It's like dried up dirt that, like, if you ran your hand, like the back of your hand on some concrete, that's what it's like flat iron your hair with a dirty flat iron. And if you go to the salon and your hairstylist has dirty, cracked up, like gunked up flat irons, I just want you to know that your hair is gonna break off. Okay? My favorite flat iron company, which I won't say until I rectify the situation, I think has been changing up the coating that they put on the plates. And I've been noticing that the coating of the flat irons are coming off, which also can give you split ends. So guess what I did? Even though they cost $200 a flat iron, I stopped using them. And now I'm like searching for my next favorite thing until I can figure out what the heck is going on with the flat irons that I was buying. So it's like, even though we may have something to use, if we know that it's promoting damage, we have to stop using it. Sorry. We have to stop using it because it is not going to help us with our hair goals. And I don't know. I'm not going to assume that everyone wants long hair because I think that that is kind of an archaic way to think, especially for our black girls. But I do think everyone would like healthy hair. Long isn't always the goal, right? Healthy is the goal, I feel like, these days. And I'm trying to help you guys get there. The other thing, they have a lot of things. Okay. Do your combs and brushes have all the teeth in them? Think about that. Let's just take 5 seconds. Do your combs and brushes have all the teeth in them? Because when they don't, they can also cause breakage when you're detangling your hair, sectioning your hair, brushing your hair, trying to prep it before bed. It can cause your hair to have all these little cracks as you're going down the shaft because you have a hard edge on the hold on. Because you can get a hard edge on the comb or the piece that broke off, and then it can start creating fragility and little cracks in the strand. So then over time, it makes it weaker and weaker and weaker. And then you get shedding, and then you get split ends or broke off pieces everywhere. Just think about it. Just think about it. Also, medication, it can create, excuse me, it can create dryness, which can make your hair compromised, which can make it fragile or create cracks in your hair, which will create split ends and breakage. Think about that. You may need to drink more water. You may, like, the point is having strong hair that is as resilient as it can be. If we keep breaking it down by like clips, broken combs, bad hot tools, bad diet, no water, no moisture, no hydration, then it's like even if you get a trim, you're going to be back in 2 weeks with split ends all over again if you have bad hair habits. Also, if you have color, and I mean like not necessarily if you're covering gray, but if you're lightening your hair, highlights, if you're going lighter than your natural color, um, it can also promote fragile, compromised hair. So if you have color and you're doing all those things that I just mentioned, get ready for some split ends. Also, if your hair is dry, you may need to start doing some more deep conditioners. But think about it. If your hair has been getting compromised from clips and ponytail holders and bobby pins and bad hot tools, and it's starting from like the root down, it may take a year or two, depending on how long your hair is, to grow all of that back down. Just because you get a trim doesn't necessarily mean it solves the issue if your whole strand is compromised from the bottom to the top. So you have to grow the whole thing to the length it's at sometimes just to see the result in the health of your hair. How often should you get a trim? I don't think that 6 week rule is correct at all. I think sometimes if your hair is really bad, you may have to get it trimmed every 4 weeks. Sometimes you may need to get it trimmed like twice a year. It really just depends on how you take care of your hair, what you have going on. Maybe even it's the climate. Maybe it's super hot where you live, which promotes dryness. Maybe it's super cold or the water's hard or whatever, and you're not using the proper shampoo and the proper conditioner. Hard water builds up calcium on your hair, which also can promote dryness. So you may need I think it's called chelating shampoo. That's CHELATING shampoo, which removes hard water and stuff from your hair. Maybe you need that. So I have a couple other things I would like to add, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I want you guys to be mindful of the maintenance that you do at home on your hair. So all those things I talked about, you need to think about, are you maintaining your hair well, or are you maintaining your hair not so well? What things can you tighten up on? Also, furniture in the car. What I mean by that is like, are your seat belts getting trapped on top of your hair, and are you just pulling it out if your hair is like shoulder length? Every day of that, you can have one side a little bit shorter than the other side. Are your purses getting caught on your hair? Moving that out of the way, depending on the strap, you could be breaking your hair off. Are you sleeping on cotton? Are you wrapping your hair up in satin or silk? The abrasion of an absorbent material can also break your hair off. Are your clothes, if you have long hair and you have like high collars or maybe a wool coat and you just got your hair pressed and you already need a trim and you wear it, it's just gonna snag and pull your hair. What else do I have? So, really, just to wrap it up, sometimes all these things have to happen, right? Sometimes it's inevitable. Maybe we're going somewhere. Maybe our outfit is just what it is or whatever, and you're going to take the sacrifice. I'm more saying every day of something that is not beneficial to your hair goal can really be detrimental to your end goal or end result. And to the people that are sick of getting their hair trimmed, I wish you would stop acting like you're not doing anything to your hair because you know that you are. There are times when I've cut off inches and then in 2 weeks I'm like, why are we back where we were? Like, what's happening? I don't, so tighten it up. You gotta care, and that'll make us care even more, you know? So I hope some of these tips helped. I know I got a little passionate, but I'm literally coming from a place of love, and I want everyone to have the hair that they desire and the hair that they want. Okay? So, with that said, please write me, ask me any questions. I did get a question though about hair products. And I don't know if you guys heard about this certain popular brand. I don't want to say right now until the coast clears or like they resolve the issue or whatever, but it's this oil making everybody's hair fall out. And I kind of believe it, but I'm not really sure. I have to do some more research. But the question was essentially like, can products make your hair fall out? I think some of them can. I think, you got to be mindful with anything you use. Um, if you start noticing your hair changing after you start using a certain thing, then you definitely should probably stop, Like you should stop using something if you know like maybe you're getting irritation or you're getting a lot of shedding when you're washing your hair, but also be mindful of what you could be doing or changing too. Like are your is your food different? Are you on medication? Like, what could be going on differently along with maybe the hair product that you're using that you're gonna have to like single everything out before you kind of just accuse somebody or a thing of your hair falling out. Because it's a really big accusation, but you just kind of want to be sure that it's that thing. But sometimes you may need to go to the doctor and really see what's going on. But that's all I got to say on that. If you have any questions, please remember to email me at yourwelcometosit@gmail.com. Also, please share, like, subscribe, tell your friends if you enjoyed this podcast. I would love everyone to hear and get to know me and get to know about this information that I'm sharing. And I hope you guys enjoyed and have a great day.